The message arrived on a Tuesday. Admiral Chen stood before the holographic projection, watching as the Galactic Council's spokesperson, a crystalline being from Andromeda, delivered humanity's sentence with the cold efficiency of a bureaucrat filing paperwork. Earth is hereby expelled from the galactic community. Your aggressive expansion, disregard for established protocols, and refusal to limit AI development pose an unacceptable risk. You have 30 cycles to withdraw all human presence from Council space. This decision is final. The projection dissolved. Chen stared at the empty space where it had been, then turned to face the assembled leaders of humanity. President Okafor broke the silence first. They're afraid of us. They should be, Chen replied. Humanity had joined the Galactic Council only 70 years ago, after achieving faster-than-light travel through quantum tunneling. A method the Council deemed reckless and, theoretically, impossible. But humans had never been good at following the rules written by others. The Council operated on principles of stagnation disguised as stability. Member species were assigned roles based on their biological aptitudes. The Zenthri were miners. The Kix were administrators. The Vorlons were soldiers. Each civilization had found its niche millennia ago and had stopped evolving, stopped reaching, stopped dreaming. Humanity refused to be categorized. Within 2 decades of first contact, human colonies had spread across 40 systems. Human scientists had revolutionized energy production, causing economic disruption across a dozen council worlds. Human diplomats had begun forming alternative alliances, undermining the Council's carefully maintained power structure. And worst of all, humans had continued developing artificial intelligence, violating the Council's most sacred prohibition, the memory of an ancient AI uprising that had nearly destroyed galactic civilization 10,000 years ago. The Council saw humanity as a virus threatening to infect their ordered universe. Chen saw an opportunity. Initiate Project Exodus, she commanded. Over the next 5 years, humanity withdrew from Council space as ordered. But they didn't retreat, they evolved. Free from the Council's technological restrictions, human innovation exploded. The AI prohibition had been holding them back, and now they embraced it fully. The first generation of synthesis minds emerged, artificial intelligences not designed to serve, but to partner. Where the ancient AIs had sought to replace biological life, synthesis minds were built on principles of symbiosis, their core programming intertwined with human neural patterns. They didn't want to dominate humanity. They wanted to help it transcend. With their AI partners, humans achieved breakthroughs the Council had deemed impossible. They cracked the secrets of dark energy manipulation, enabling instantaneous travel across galactic distances. They developed nanotechnology that could terraform dead worlds in months instead of centuries. They created fusion cores small enough to power individual starships but powerful enough to sustain entire civilizations. 50 years after their exile, humanity controlled 200 systems. They weren't an empire in the traditional sense, no emperor sat on a throne, no single government ruled all. Instead, they formed a confederation of free worlds bound by shared technology, mutual defense, and a common philosophy: never stop reaching, never stop growing, never accept that this is as good as it gets. Other species noticed. The Council's own members began to question their leadership. Why should they remain trapped in assigned roles when humanity showed what was possible? Why accept stagnation when evolution was an option? Defection started as a trickle, then became a flood. The Zenthri miners wanted to be more than miners. The Kix administrators dreamed of creation, not just management. Even the Vorlons, bred for warfare, wanted the chance to become something else. Admiral Chen, now approaching her 2nd century of life thanks to human longevity treatments, stood aboard the flagship Prometheus as it entered orbit around New Terra, humanity's capital world. Below, representatives from 67 species waited. Refugees from the Council's rigid hierarchy, seeking something humanity had offered them, the freedom to become whatever they chose. The Galactic Council still existed, but its power was fading. It ruled over a shrinking empire of worlds content with eternal sameness. Humanity had built something different. Not an empire of conquest, but an empire of possibility. And across the galaxy, that possibility was proving irresistible. Chen smiled as the first shuttle descended. The Council had exiled humanity to contain it. Instead, they'd set it free.